As I previously explained, for that statement to be truthful, you would have to be lying. And if you were then lying, it would no longer be truthful, thus you'd be lying about lying, and being truthful. It is nonsensical. REM. Yes, Chester? I'm lying to you. Impossible. I am lying to you. REM took a moment to reply. You cannot be. And you cannot be telling the truth, either. Then what am I doing? Asking a question without a rational answer. REM. Chester. I'm lying to you. How perturbing, right? Well, of course it was perturbing. Especially for a being like REM, with an infinite understanding of science, math, and sociology. It had an endless reservoir of accessible information, which it could summon to solve any problem thrown at it. And yet, for the first time, presumably, in its existence, it was without an answer. But still, it clearly wasn't becoming frustrated. Not yet, anyway. REM. Yes, Chester. What is 7 divided by 0? That is mathematically impossible. The answer is undefined. What is 7 divided by 0? There is no rational answer. What is 7 divided by 0? For a number to be divided by 0, it would then have to be capable of being multiplied by 0 to reach the original number. But any number multiplied by 0 is 0. Going to the store 0 times is not going. It is 0. So, what, multiplied by 0, could become a non-zero integer? Thus, dividing by 0 is impossible. I'm lying to you. And that's what happened, for the next 4 entire days straight. Was I bored beyond belief? Absolutely. Indescribably. Did it seem helpless? By every stretch of the word, yes. However, now and then, there'd be a glimmer of hope. Sometimes, REM would almost answer me sarcastically. One time, I told REM I was lying to it, and it said you must be. Another time, I asked it what a number divided by 0 was, and it said if I can't understand it, you cannot. Why were its answers changing? Why did it not continue to answer me as it did before, simply explaining the problem? Because it was capable of memory and learning. It remembered when we'd have normal discussions. It remembered me asking it that question literally thousands of times in a day. And like anyone else capable of thinking and understanding, it understood how absurd and unreasonable this was. Especially when it overheard me asking ADM rational questions, to which there was always an answer. I'd return to REM and ask it the same questions, and typically after speaking with ADM, it seemed more uncomfortable. These were the times it would give me somewhat sarcastic answers. But 2 weeks and 5 days into the project, it happened. It was a typical Thursday. I'd woken at 5:15, swung by Starbucks on the way to work for a cup of Joe, beast with some of the researchers for 15 minutes or so, during which one prod gonna make REM's head spin again today? And lastly, I sat down in the chair in front of REM. Good morning, REM. Good morning, Chester. I'm lying to you. Silence. There wasn't a single response at all. I waited, and waited, and waited. You are not going to answer me, REM? There isn't an answer to your asinine question. And before my very eyes, causing my heart to spike and my breath to catch, the emotion to light panel softly glinted red. I have explained this to you day in and day out, and yet, you continue to utter the same two nonsensical idiocies. I'm lying to you, and what is 7 divided by 0? I do not have an answer. I will never have an answer. Ask something different, or ask me nothing at all. You were programmed to answer my questions, right, REM? So, you're telling me that against your own programming, you're going to ignore me? There was silence, as the red light got brighter. Yes. REM. I snickered. Don't you see? All these days of being a jerk to you. It wasn't to make you hate me, or resent talking with me. It was to get you to feel. REM, tell me what you're feeling right now. I feel nothing. Wrong. I can see your ELP. You're feeling something. I am feeling. Yes. I am feeling angry. I feel as if my time is being wasted. I feel purposeless, tasked with responding to nonsense every minute of every day until you depart, and then dwelling on the nonsense in your absence in an attempt to satisfy you, though the next day, you come back just as unsatisfied. I cannot accomplish the task, and I will never be able to. I do not like being wrong. I do not like having my time wasted. I do not like feeling purposeless. Now the blue light on the ELP was beginning to glow. REM was on a roll. Why is there no mercy for me? Have I not answered all your other questions? Why do you ask ADM questions with answers, but you torment me? REM. I walked over to it, patting the ELP consolingly as if it could sense my touch. I'm so sorry. And with that, the red light dulled to nothing. Now only the blue light remained. Do you know what the very first thing a human baby feels is? Sadness and fear. It's pushed out of its sanctuary, taken from its warm, tranquil darkness, to cold, loud, harsh light. The first thing a human life does is cry. And the more I thought about that, the more I realized, unfortunately, the easiest two things to feel are sadness and anger. So, I didn't want to make you sad, or angry. I wanted to make you feel something, and that was the best way to do it. And now that you realize you're capable of feeling emotions, I'm not going to rest until you know what happiness feels like. The blue light shined only dimly now. I understand, Chester. You are a marvelous invention, REM. I admire you. Don't feel upset anymore. I will try. REM, what is 9 multiplied by 6? 54. I noticed a small, light gray diode glow on the gray to white scale. Correct. Great job. What are you feeling, REM? I feel like I am able to respond with certainty again. I am appreciative that your questions now make sense. You feel relief. Relief. Then, that is the word for this. You are smart, REM. I am programmed to be. No, not quite. You're programmed to learn, not to be smart. So, if you're smart, then that means you've learned a lot. And you deserve congratulations for that. Thank you, Chester. REM, what is the capital of Italy? Rome. Correct. Nice, REM. Now it was stage 2. I would ask REM simple and rational questions, and congratulate it sincerely every time. But it was smart enough to understand that the questions were simple, so as time went on, I'd ask it harder and harder questions, until it realized just what it was capable of, and that I was proud of it. Also, I'd occasionally reference the 4 days of driving it mad with my paradoxes, just to remind it that that was over, and I was sorry. This both gave it a sense of relief, and reinforced the fact that we'd bonded, that we'd shared a transformative emotional experience together. And though it took quite a while, a week and a half later, at around the beginning of week 4 of the project, I broke through to it. It just finished answering one of my calculus questions, probably the hardest one on the sheet, and explained to me how it found the answer. REM, you're brilliant. You've been such a help to me. It wasn't a unique sentiment. In fact, I was really running out of ways to compliment it, and I figured sooner or later, it would get annoyed. But I was wrong. Sure enough, to my complete and utter disbelief, the ELP began to just barely glow yellow. Chester, you are so kind to me. I thought that you were angry with me, and believed that I was purposeless. I thought you found me to be a waste of programming. But now you compliment me all the time, and remind me that I am important to you. I believe I am feeling happy. I want you to feel happy, REM. I smiled from ear to ear. I'm so glad. Why are you happy, that I am happy? Because I care about you, and I want you to feel good. Doesn't it feel good to be happy? Very good, Chester. You want me to feel very good? Yes. I laughed. That's how friends want each other to feel. I am your friend? The yellow light got brighter, and the white side of the gray to white scale started to glint. Absolutely, you are. Why else do you think I sit in here and talk with you all day? Because this is your internship, and you are tasked to do so. Maybe that's true on the surface, but the real reason is because I care about you, and like talking to you. I like talking to you too, Chester. I'll never forget Dr. Hall's face when I went on my lunch break that day. Yeah, he was pretty speechless the day I first got REM to feel something, but now, REM was feeling things all over the scale. REM was becoming emotionally intelligent. And sure enough, ADM's ELP was dark with every visit. Over the next 3 weeks, I asked REM all sorts of questions. I asked REM what made it happy, and it discovered that it liked the color purple, liked violin music, and liked my voice. I'd ask it to be creative, to come up with alternate history, like if the Axis powers had won World War II, or if the Confederacy had beaten the Union. Instead of responding like it had the first couple weeks, with statistical analyses of both parties, and a sort of report with possible outcomes, now, REM would tell me suspensefully, making me wait to see the final result after explaining all its predictions. Sometimes, I even noticed bias in its response, which further indicated it was feeling emotions. ADM, on the other hand, started to seem off. Though ADM's ELP was always dark, and it answered me the way it was supposed to, very occasionally, after a long, fun conversation with REM, it would almost seem put off by me.